And he made a statement here that I take issue with. He says, moreover, there were many warnings coming from the medical profession about adverse side effects that came from eating meat. I am now a vegetarian by choice and have been for the past 20 years. I find that I am perfectly healthy. I have plenty of energy and have lost the taste for meat. And I do not need to live with the idea that I am taking the lives of animals for my own use. And then he reports on the nature of experts and so forth and how they can lead you astray and give you the wrong information. So there are lots of interesting ideas in this little section. And I think it's really important to focus on what it was like when you were a kid and how your parents treated food, how they dealt with food, what kind of foods they ate, what kind of foods they gave to you. You know, they purchased from the grocery store, stocked the fridge with, stocked the shelves with. I remember when I was a kid, I would eat Oreo cookies and milk. That was one of my favorites, as well as toast. Buttered toast was another thing. Of course, those things were not really nutritious for me. So to say that children naturally know what's good for them and they find that healthy balance is not correct either, because one of those 3 pillars that we all have to learn is nutritional information. Nutritional knowledge is key. And there's lots of tips that Kevin and I provided in the book, Healthy Mind, Fit Body, to inform you about what is the ideal way to be eating things. What types of foods do we want to be consuming? What is going to be the best for us in the long term to extend our longevity and to give us plenty of energy and so forth. And neither Kevin nor I agree with the vegetarian diet. It's very hard to get adequate protein when you're on that diet. And a lot of vegetarians really skimp on fat consumption too. So you're depriving your body of 2 major macronutrients that are essential. You can actually live without carbohydrates, but you cannot live without protein and fat. So however you feel about the killing of animals to sustain yourself, you could always become an ovo-lacto vegetarian, I suppose, where you could eat eggs and cheese and products of animals, but not actually the animals themselves. So there would be no animals harmed in the eating of those foods. But the important thing is to have that nutritional knowledge and to impart that to your kids in a way that is still respecting their own choices. So when you were a child, did your parents treat your food choices with respect? Did they force you to eat foods? Did they make you stay at the table until you finished your plate? Did they refrain from providing dessert unless you ate certain things you didn't like? Did they send you to your room without food if you did something badly? I mean, all these forms of punishment are not really treating kids with respect. And it's important to realize how those messages get integrated in our mind, our subconscious mind, in relation to how we are treating ourselves today. So if you're overweight, if you have excess body fat, 1, you need to know how to lose that body fat, and that's outlined in our book. But basically, in a nutshell, it means eating more fat and less carbohydrates, because the insulin secretion from the carbohydrate consumption is likely keeping all those extra fat pounds on you. And by lessening that insulin secretion, by lightening up on the carbs and increasing your fat intake, you're going to unlock that ability to burn off that fat. And you don't have to actually exercise like a mad person to achieve your ideal weight. But exercise is obviously healthy. It's just not the key component to losing that excess body fat. So having that nutritional information is important, but also the self-knowledge. How did these messages get sent to you when you were a kid? How did your parents relate to you? How are they still relating to you, in fact, when you go to family dinners and so forth, about the types of foods to eat? Because it's really important to get in touch with your subconscious, and that leads to motivation. The emotional perspective that you have in relation to the food that you're eating or the food that you're not eating is critical too. So to get in touch with that emotional perspective entails delving into your subconscious mind. And in the back of the book, we actually have a 7-day sentence completion program. And essentially sentence completion exercises or sentence stems are a way to really effectively and efficiently get at your subconscious premises and help you understand what is motivating you, why you could be at war with yourself, why are you doing one thing and thinking another, or believing in one way of acting and yet doing the opposite. So it's all about becoming more integrated with your subconscious mind, and by doing these sentence completion exercises, you can really get to know that deeper level of self. And I have actually a couple days in there that I structured to delve into your child self, which is really, really important because, again, these ideas of how to treat ourselves and the image that we have of ourselves and the image that we want of ourselves, how to align those two things in a way that is wholesome, rather than be conflicted about the image that we have of our own body and the image that we'd like to have, and how to attain that, or our frustrations about not being able to attain that. So it's all really important psychological information. And those other pillars of self-knowledge and motivation kind of work together to help facilitate the acquisition of the nutritional knowledge or the implementation of what you know about nutrition. Because so many people in America do not have the right nutritional information. And I was going through the list of various podcasts today that are offering ways for people to lose weight. I mean, there's, dozens and dozens of podcasts out there to help people lose weight, and many of them are based on the calorie theory of weight loss and the exercise theory. And we explored some of that in the first podcast, so I encourage you to go back and listen to that one. But we'll be delving into more of these issues in later podcasts. And if you have any questions or comments about this one, feel free to email me at wes@healthymindfitbody.com, or you can email Kevin at kevin@healthymindfitbody.com. And if you go to the homepage, you can follow us on Twitter. We just got that going on our website. And of course, you can subscribe through iTunes. And if you go to iTunes, you can also write a review of the show. So anyway, we're going to keep these podcasts about around 15 minutes in length, short and sweet, so you can definitely fit them in your schedule through the week. And we look forward to talking to you on the next one. Take care and have a good week.